Radio Free 3D, Tommy McCay, your host, once again here in the 3D Politics Isolation Booth. We've been doing the Oklahoma Chainsaw Manicure with Joy Hoffmeister, our first friend on that one. Food is first. Waivers she got. She's going to figure out how to keep learning going, and now we're moving on to her statement about how horrible the percentage is, how horribly high the percentage is of the children in Oklahoma that require, or at least qualify, which is the key word, reduced or free lunch. Now, most people will get upset, freaked out, and have a strong reaction to the high percentage number, but I have a different take. And of course, here we are once again, Radio Free 3D, Tommy McCay, your host, and I'm going to be doing the Oklahoma Chainsaw Manicure. Here is another clip from this statement from Joy Hoffmeister.
Oklahoma has about 61% of our school children who do qualify for the National School Lunch Program for free or reduced price lunch.
Now, listen to the keywords there, qualify and national. You know, there's only two things wrong with Nazis, nationalism and socialism. The schools promote socialism. And what she's saying here is that 61% of Oklahoma students qualify. Now, qualify is a subjective term because the people who determine what the parameters are for qualification can adjust that. You remember Will Rogers said, give me a liar, a damn liar, and a statistician in that order. So the concepts here is that anybody can create a percentage. In radio, they teach you can be number one in some category. You're always literally number one in some category. So here she is suggesting that 61% of the children, according to a national scale, see, she likes the idea of nationalizing the school systems, but according to a national scale, she says that the children qualify for free and reduced lunch. Now, instead of getting upset about 61%, let's talk about why in the world. In fact, isn't it kind of cruel and unusual to draw a distinction between free and reduced lunch? I mean, you're so poor you can require a free lunch. We get that. But we're going to shave the money so tight that's like, well, you're not poor enough. We'll give you a reduced price lunch. Well, what is that? Yeah, I would suggest if you're going to offer free lunches to people who need it, if you can see that they clearly need a reduced price, why don't you just go ahead and give them the free lunch? What is this, like a market where we're bargaining to save a buck? And I mean, how much are school lunches today anyway? Like, what are they, up to $5 now? And so if you can get a free lunch for $5, that's a $5 free lunch. But one kid is poor, so he's poor, but he's not so poor. He gets a free lunch. What are you going to do? Shave $1 off of his meal? He's get $2. Was he buy one, get one free? What kind of free market capitalism are they slinging around in the socialist cafeteria? It's absolutely ridiculous. So the idea that they calculate in between free and reduced price is where I go off the edge. It's incredibly stupid to make that distinction if you're pretending to care about the poor. So after she suggested that we're going to keep the children healthy and strong and keep their immune systems going, even though her job is education, and we're going to ship food by mail because that's the 21st century. The Pony Express, they'll deliver a pizza in 30 days or it's free. So after some fear-mongering, she goes through the concept of, first there's the food, box of food by mail. Listen to this one.
To them. And we've actually also been given the green light on a box of food for 10 days that can be shipped by mail.
Wow, the public schools with Joy Hoffmeister is really on the cutting edge of educating children by sending a box of food, she calls it, to children by mail. My gosh, the Pony Express is still working for us. She goes on this same statement of box of food routine right here.
That is going to their homes as well, so that they're not walking out to bus stops waiting early in the morning or something to receive one meal at a time.
You can hear what Joy Hoffmeister has said. I call her the Hoff. Joy the Hoffmeister is suggesting that the world she lives in is a world where parents neglect their children so badly that she's got to take care of them by using state authority to ship food by mail, because she fears that if she doesn't ship food by mail at your taxpayer expense, that the children will be walking out to the bus stop to get food from the bus driver one meal at a time every morning. I mean, what world does she live in? So then she does a little bit of fear mongering after that statement. And she talks about how the COVID tests in Oklahoma are going up. And we haven't even done as many tests as other states. Well, in fact, how does the COVID number of positives go up? By testing. So if we do more testing, what do you think is going to happen to the number of cases? More testing equals more cases. But she scares on them. Then she does a little bit of hocus pocus about how she doesn't want to plan in a crisis. But listen to this.
And we knew that if districts were going to plan to move forward with learning.
See, why wouldn't her statement say because districts will have to move forward? She's acting like they're hesitating, waiting on some instruction from above. And her next following statement goes like this.
They needed to get this determined quickly so that they could begin that process of planning.
Translation. They were waiting on us at the higher state level, taking our cues from the feds to tell them what to do. The districts are waiting to move until they are told what to do. Here's her final statement on planning in a crisis. I like this. So we're talking about what she's done in the last week since we've had the crisis, because she wants to avoid she's all these things they've been doing in the last 12 days. Here's what she says why they're doing it.
And we don't want to plan and prepare in a crisis. We want to plan and prepare ahead of time.
Right, except for the fact is you were just explaining that all the stuff you were doing was because you were having to make movements during the crisis. And then you're saying, because we don't, we're making these crisis decisions because we don't want to make crisis decisions during a crisis. You're literally making decisions during the crisis.